I think Kim hit the wrong button. He's a keener. So.
Okay.
I'm happy to step aside for the remainder of the meeting.
Well, thank you very much, Mark. And I'm glad that you mentioned Nicole. Yes, she's on here. Nicole is chairing that task force. That task force is diligently working on the knowledge transfer training, the extension piece. And so we have to wait for some of those points. I would like to also mention several of the people who the projects were identified, like Ray Price and Sandy Russell. Others are on the line. And I would also note that Tim Schultz, who's Chief of Staff for Minister Horner, I think is one of the attendees. And of course, we work closely with the department, with the Minister and Deputy Minister Shannon, as well as some of the ADMs. So it's good to have participation from the Department of Ag and Forestry here. We're going to move now to our bylaw amendments. Those have been circulated. We have our legal counsel here, Adrian, excuse me. I promised myself I wouldn't do that. Adrian Waller is here. So what we would like to do is the government's committee has reviewed the bylaws and is proposing these amendments. We're going to start with Article 50. And the rationale here is that we needed to clarify the nature of the meeting that was held on March 9th, 2021. I already referenced that. It was not the first AGM of members to be held under the Act. And so the prescribed deadline for holding the first annual member meeting is 18 months following the incorporation date. RDAR was incorporated July 22nd, 2020. Therefore, the deadline for the first AGM, and we're meeting that deadline by meeting on the 18th, was actually January 21st, 2022. So RDAR's first annual members meeting or AGM is being held today, obviously. So as a result of that decision, that then cascades down into Articles 51, which then the board approved the bylaws. The members in March 2021, the plan was to hold RDAR's first annual meeting in the fall of 2022, within 6 months of the end of the RDAR preceding financial year, as required by Section 161B of the Act, during which directors would have been elected. On review, it was determined that a fall members meeting would be impractical and that the best time for RDAR's annual members meeting would be in January of each year. So it was always the intent that the directors elected in March 21 would hold office for approximately 1.5 years before the next election was held. So this change in years in Articles 51, you can see them bolded and underlined here, carries out the original intent, except that these first directors will hold office until January 2023. Could we move to new Article 57? This provides clarity on what a year means, so that defining that they run from one annual meeting to another. This also provides clarity that the first year in office for directors elected in March 2021 will officially start January 18th, 2022. So I'm going to call for a vote with the motion to approve the amendments of the RDAR bylaws in Articles 50, 51, 52, and 57 as approved by the Board of Directors as set out in the second column of the table attached to the notice to shareholders as Appendix A. Could we have a mover, please? Thank you, Michael.
And Mr. Chair, if I can confirm, is this Michael Strebchuk? Just want to confirm. Yes, perfect. Thank you. And then Carrie seconds.
Thank you.
And just as an update, we are now at 28 voters.
Thank you. Open it up for questions or discussion, please. There being none, can we ask for the vote, please? How are we doing, Lydia?
The votes are in. We have 20 in favor, none opposed, and 1 abstention.
Thank you very much. So thank you to the members. This covers most of the official business. Just of note, and I want to, well, I guess, sorry, here we go. I got ahead of myself. We now have a special resolution is also being proposed that is in support of the bylaw amendments, and that we ask our members to allow us to hold our AGMs in January so that there is no conflict with other producer groups events, and updated interim financials will be reported at that time. So the resolution AGM date to January each year. John Mako moves. And Brad Dubois second. Thank you very much. Any discussion? Could we have the vote, please, Class A members?
They are coming in quickly. We are at 19 in favor. So that gives it a majority.
Wonderful. Is there any other business that would like to be discussed before we terminate the meeting? I do have one small thing to point out. Our good friend David Bailey, CEO of Genome Alberta, a good partner of RDAR, is also a perch-and breeder, and he noted that the statue behind Minister Horner is likely that statue of a famous stallion, percher and stallion, Halifax. So we've all learned something today. Thank you, David Bailey. Are there any other points that would like to be brought up before we terminate and break for 5 minutes and then launch our strategic framework? If not, could I have a motion to terminate the meeting, please?
Michael Strebchuk.
Okay.
And
All in
Brad
favor? Vote now.
Only 5 people so far want to terminate.
Maybe they're enjoying the moderator and presenters or not.
We are at 17, so that gives us a majority.
Okay, thank you.
So,
Mike?
Mr. Chair, if I could interject, if the members' pleasure, wonder if we could forego this 5-minute break. I would really like to start Ted Billet's discussions on time, and we are 7 minutes over time. Well, actually, we're 12 minutes over time at present.
Well, we're going to take a break either before or after you. So people will they can stay on longer for Ted. Ted isn't going to any party. He's under 3 feet of snow in Toronto. So it's your pleasure if you want to hold folks through your presentation, or do you want them to concentrate after they take a 5-minute bio break? What do you choose?
I'd sooner move through, and then we can make sure that that you and Ted have the fires well stoked and the brandy in hand.
All right.